All right, deep dive time. And looks like we were diving into homeschooling today.
Yeah, homeschooling. This is a topic I think a lot of people hear about,
Uh-huh.
but maybe don't fully get, all the different angles and everything.
Yeah,
And, looking at this document that you sent over, I can already tell you've been doing some serious research here. Lots of really interesting questions.
definitely a lot to unpack.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. I'm excited. So, to kick things off, I noticed right away
Okay.
that you start with the why of homeschooling. Like, right off the bat, why are parents even choosing this? And that, to me, that's smart. It's like you want to understand the motivation.
That's
And
foundational.
yeah, before you even get into the nuts and
You
bolts.
have to understand that impetus.
Exactly.
Like, what's pushing families towards this path in the first place? Is it like they're unhappy with the traditional school system?
Right.
Or maybe they want a specific religious or philosophical approach for their kids?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's a mix of things. And then you even ask about legal requirements
Right.
in different regions, which is interesting. That shows you're already thinking about.
Yeah, that was really interesting to me, too, because,
Like, yeah, all the different,
yeah,
you know,
it's
a
not.
monolithic thing.
No, not at all. Like, homeschooling isn't just one thing everywhere.
Right, exactly. Like, for example, some states I know in the U.S.
Right.
mandate specific subjects
Right.
or standardized testing,
Mm.
whereas others are much more hands-off.
Yeah, like a
Oh,
much more
wow.
relaxed approach. And internationally, oh my gosh, it's all over the map.
Yeah, you mentioned Germany.
Like Germany. Germany straight up forbids homeschooling.
That blew my mind.
I know. It's illegal.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to see
Totally.
the variety of approaches.
So it's not just about, pulling your kid out of school and calling it a day. There's a whole legal system to navigate.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. So we've got parents with their reasons, a legal landscape to figure out. But what about the kids in all of this? And, you specifically ask about social development, which is a big one.
Yeah, like a common concern with homeschooling.
It's the question I get asked the most.
Is it true what some people say about homeschooled kids
You mean
socially?
the stereotype?
Yeah, like the stereotype, are they all, you know, socially awkward or lacking in social skills?
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Right.
The whole social butterfly versus wallflower debate.
Exactly. So what's the reality?
Well, actually, research shows
Okay.
that homeschooled children aren't inherently disadvantaged socially.
Oh, so that's a myth.
Yeah, and in fact, some studies even suggest that they score higher on measures of social and emotional development.
Well, that's surprising.
I know. It is interesting, and it might be because,
Why do you think it is?
well, they might be getting more diverse social interactions. Not just with same-age peers,
Okay.
but with people of all ages. And also, they might have more opportunities,
Where?
leadership and problem solving in real-world situations.
So it's not just about like, hanging out with other kids at recess. They're getting a different type of social experience.
Right. They're out in the world more often.
Fascinating. Okay, so we've tackled the social aspect. But then, of course,
Academics.
yeah, academics. Everyone wants to know how homeschooled kids stack up academically against those in traditional schools.
Right. It's a natural question.
Totally. And your document jumps right into that.
Yeah.
So what's the verdict?
Well, you have to be careful
Okay.
because focusing only on standardized test scores
Hmm.
can be really misleading.
In what way?
Well, for one thing, some studies show homeschooled students actually outperform their traditionally schooled peers.
Really?
But then others find no real difference. So it's all over the place.
Yeah, so it's not a clear-cut answer.
And I think the reality is academic outcomes depend on a bunch of things.
Okay, like,
Curriculum choices, obviously, parental involvement, the child's individual learning style.
so it's not as simple as just saying one is better than the other.
Ex-
It's more nuanced. Yeah, okay, so we've talked about the social side, the academic side. But your question about a well-rounded education, that really gets to the heart of what homeschooling can offer.
Yeah, like traditional schools have their set structure, but homeschooling has so much more flexibility.
Right, like you can tailor the education to a child's specific interests.
Imagine this. You have a kid who's obsessed with marine biology.
Okay.
They could spend weeks exploring tide pools, volunteering at an aquarium,
Yeah.
even connecting with marine biologists online.
Wow, that's a whole different level of learning.
It's immersive. It goes way beyond textbooks. And then you have things like co-ops,
Oh, yeah, co-ops, I've heard of those.
basically groups of families pooling resources and expertise to offer a wider range of classes and activities.
That's pretty cool, actually. Okay, so curriculum flexibility, specialized learning, but then there's also family dynamics,
Oh, yeah.
which you brought up.
That question is crucial.
It's a whole other layer, isn't it?
It is because homeschooling isn't just about the kid. It impacts the whole family dynamic.
Right. What's the reality there?
Well, it can be amazing, really rewarding,
In what way?
fostering these deep bonds, shared learning experiences. But it's a huge commitment from parents.
Like you're the teacher and the parent.
Exactly, day in and day out. It can be a lot, even with support systems like co-ops.
So it's not all, sunshine and roses.
Oh, definitely not.
There are some real challenges to think about.
It can be super demanding on time and energy, lead to burnout if parents aren't careful.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then there's the blurring of boundaries between parent and teacher.
Yeah,
That could create friction.
definitely.
And of course, the financial aspect.
Oh, yeah, big one.
It's like one parent might have to quit their job. Or you might have extra expenses for materials and activities.
Curriculums to consider.
Right. It's a big decision with lasting impacts. And speaking of lasting impacts, your question about long-term benefits and drawbacks is key.
Absolutely.
Like what happens after homeschooling? Do kids go to college? Do they have successful careers? Do they struggle to adapt to the real world?
Well, again, it's hard to generalize.
Yeah.
But studies show that homeschooled students generally do transition well into college and the workforce.
Well, that's good to hear.
They're often self-directed learners, adaptable, resourceful, qualities that are really valuable today.
Yeah, it sounds like it's not just about where they end up,
Yeah.
but the skills they develop along the way.
Exactly, mindset.
And then you also bring up public perception, which has definitely shifted over time.
Yeah, homeschooling used to be seen as this fringe thing,
Right.
but now it's gaining mainstream acceptance.
Especially with online resources and virtual learning. But do you think some misconceptions still linger?
Oh, for sure.
It seems like there's so much to consider with homeschooling.
It's a huge decision.
It really is a deep dive.
It is a complex, multifaceted decision, but it's great you're exploring it so thoroughly.
And you know what's interesting? You didn't specifically ask about technology's role in all of this, which is constantly evolving.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how are all these online platforms, virtual reality, personalized learning tools, how are they changing homeschooling? That's something to think about as you continue your research. This deep dive is just the beginning.